Happy Saturday, sister friends. How are you all doing today, Smart Money Sisters? I'm so glad to have you joining me today as we continue our side hustle summer series. And we are working through my e-course, Side Hustle Profits, the step-by-step blueprint to starting a profitable side hustle. And in our last module, we talked about building on your strengths and outsourcing your weaknesses. And so we talked about making the good use of your time and how important that is to the success of your side hustle. We also talked about, is outsourcing the right thing to do for you and when it will be, if it is not. And so bridging on from that, we are going to talk about in our next session here, we're talking about mapping out your hustle idea and strategy, mapping that thing out. Because here's the thing, mapping out your idea and your strategy is very, very important. Why? Well, because planning is key to your side hustle success. And without a good plan, you may just as well be playing in the dark, and you're almost guaranteed to, well, spin your wheels. And when you start spinning your wheels, you stop. And so you can say, it's just not going to work that. But if you want to increase your chances of success, and who doesn't, then it's a must that you start to learn how to, and that you plan out your side hustle idea. Even if it's just, something that you're doing, I was going to say on the side, but that's what we're talking about. But if you consider it to be a small thing, you still want to map that down and lay out a strategy. And I'll talk to you more about that. So you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses better than anyone else. And if you say that you're not good at planning, then you might want to think about a better way to begin to move planning into the strengths column. Because if you don't feel like you can do that, then you're going to need to ask for help, because planning is key to your side hustle. Ask your family and your friends to help you to brainstorm your side hustle strategy, because the saying says two heads are better than one. So do a brain dump, write everything down that you can think of, even those things that you think are crazy, and then you'll have an opportunity to edit your ideas later on. But planning is so key, so you got to take the time to do that. Okay, so let's talk about lists versus mind maps. Now, to organize your ideas as you're doing these brain dumps, lists versus mind maps, right? So you can either use a simple linear list or you can use a mind map. Now, I know that people love mind maps. I am not the fondest of a mind map. I like lists. So it's going to be up to you as to which one you like to do. But let's talk about the two. So with long lists, it can be hard to make sense of what you've got. You can create very, very long lists, right? And it can be disorienting and overwhelming at the same time. So if you've got ideas that are similar to each other, it's hard to show that on a long list. Whereas like mind maps, I'll give it is that it provides more of a logical and organized way to view your ideas. And so it's not in such a linear format. So you can do that. You can connect similar ideas together and you can group them together. But, with lists, you can do that also, right? You can make this list and you can take the list and you can do that as well. So, basically, it doesn't matter which way you do it, whether lists or mind maps are better for you, but there are planning tools that are out there that can help you. So there's a mind mapping software out there that you can try. It's called Bubble. So it's BUBBL.us or Mindomo, which is mindomo.com. And they're free forever versions that allow you to create up to 3 mind maps. So you already know how to get a pen and paper to do, a list, right? We're all good at that. I'm good at lists and check boxes. Okay. Uh, but if you want to get better at mind maps, because they do have their points and they can be great for planning. So you can try those for the free forever versions on that. Okay. So let's talk about your edge. So the one thing that you'll need to consider when you're planning out your side hustle is your side hustle strategy is your competitive edge. So what's your unique selling proposition? What do you have that your competitors don't have? Why should anyone do business with you instead of with your competitors? So you want to find out the answers to these questions, and you can use those answers as selling points as you go out into the world and you start reaching out to your potential clients. They're going to ask you those tough questions. So you do kind of need to plan your answers depending on your type of side hustle. And it's going to be super important for you to believe in those answers. You got to believe what's coming out your mouth. If you don't believe it, they won't believe it either. So you can just say that you're better than the competition because that's what your parents or your spouse told you. But, you know, you can't really just do that. No, you got to do better than that. You got to think outside the box and you need to give a reliable and foolproof reason why people should give you the time of day. And let's talk about branding your side hustle, because all that's going to feed into branding your side hustle. Another thing you want to look at is, some people may not even think that branding is important. You might think it's just a little side hustle and you don't need to think about this branding stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you from experience, you do. You see, if you want your side hustle to succeed and you want people coming to you instead of going to them, whoever them is, then you need to learn how to brand yourself as someone your target audience is going to want to do business with, right? So if you manage to do your branding right, then your marketing efforts are going to be much easier. People will get to know, like, and trust you and your brand. And in the overall scheme of things, branding may be the secret ingredient to your side hustle success. So you're going to have to find out what branding means to you and what branding means to your side hustle that you're going through or that you're endeavoring to take on. And the last point is it's all about the details. So there's this famous saying that says the devil is in the details. So at this point, you might think you can skip on the little circumstances and figure things out as you go along the way, and you can. But if you decide to follow that route, then you're going to be for some nasty surprises as you go along the way. Ask me how I know. And so surprises, honestly, that can be avoided if only you take the time to plan things out. And by doing that, you're going to minimize the obstacles and the challenges. You're going to be prepared when things happen because things do happen. And so you're going to be prepared. You won't be derailed on your path to success because that's not what you want, right? You want to be successful, not failing in the things that you do, because failing only stops the momentum, right? So you want to have success and feel good about the successes that you have. So it's really quite simple. You can either be proactive or you can be reactive, right? So we know that prevention is better than cure. So it's better to be active and to prepare for whatever might come and then it is to react, because there also are going to be things that you will need to react to that you didn't think about, right? So you want to nip that in the bud as much as you can. Plan out your side hustle ideas. Do your list maps, do your mind maps, whichever works for you. Think about your competitive edge, brand your side hustle, and just remember that, the success is in the details. So keep going with that there. All right. So thank you for joining me today for this quick module here, and I'll see you on the next video.